It is the one question that has followed humanity through every age, across every culture, a question whispered in the silence between heartbeats. What happens when it all stops? For centuries, we have searched for an answer in faith, in science, and in the strange echoes from the edge of existence. But the deeper we look, the more the mystery seems to grow. We believe we are mapping the known world, but the largest territory of all remains uncharted. It is the final destination. Number 5, the simulation theory. We perceive our world as fundamentally real, but what if it's not? The simulation theory suggests that our entire universe, everything we see, feel, and know, is nothing more than a highly advanced computer simulation. Pioneers in physics and philosophy have noted the uncanny mathematical structure of our reality, the discrete, pixel-like nature of space-time at the quantum level. If this is true, then death isn't an end. It is merely a termination of the program. A user logging off, a system shut down. Are we conscious beings or just complex code running its course? If we are in a simulation, who built it? And what happens when they decide to turn it off? Number 4, the eternal recurrence. Imagine living this exact life, moment for moment, an infinite number of times. This is the concept of eternal recurrence, a haunting idea found in ancient philosophies and famously explored by Friedrich Nietzsche. The theory posits that with infinite time and a finite number of particles in the universe, every possible arrangement must eventually repeat. This means you have lived this life before, and you will live it again, with every joy, every sorrow, and every mistake locked in an endless loop. There is no escape, no change. Your consciousness is not reborn, it is re-executed. This isn't a second chance. It is a sentence served for eternity. Number 3, the quantum consciousness hypothesis. For decades, consciousness has been science's greatest puzzle. We know it exists, but we can't explain what it is. The quantum consciousness hypothesis proposes an answer. It suggests our consciousness isn't generated by the brain, but is a fundamental property of the universe, existing as quantum information. The brain acts as a biological receiver, a quantum computer that tunes in to this conscious field. At the moment of death, as the brain shuts down, this quantum information isn't destroyed. It can't be. Instead, it is released, disengaging from the body and returning to the cosmic field it came from. Death, in this view, is not a loss of self, but a return to a universal whole. A drop of water rejoining the ocean. Number 2, the multiverse immortality theory. Every choice you make, every path you take, splits the universe into multiple parallel timelines. This is the foundation of the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. Multiverse immortality takes this one step further. It argues that your consciousness can only continue in a reality where it survives. At every moment that could lead to your death, a car crash, a disease, an accident, a split occurs. Your consciousness seamlessly continues down the timeline where you survived, completely unaware of the countless versions of you that perished. This means, from your own perspective, you are immortal. You will live on, migrating from one reality to the next, surviving every fatal event, until you are the last one, standing in a universe you no longer recognize. You can't die. You can only witness everyone else fade away. Number 1, the annihilation theory. Perhaps the most unsettling theory is also the simplest. Nothing. No light, no tunnel, no reunion. Just a complete and irreversible cessation of being. This is annihilationism, the belief that consciousness is a temporary byproduct of complex biological processes within the brain. Once the brain dies, the consciousness it generated simply evaporates. There is no soul to carry on, no data to transfer, no cycle to repeat. The story of you comes to a definitive, final end. The universe continues on, indifferent and unchanged. All of your memories, emotions, and experiences, everything that made you who you are, is simply erased. It is the ultimate silence, the final closing of a book that will never be read again. So we are left where we began, in the dark, asking questions. Are we programs in a cosmic machine, prisoners in a loop of time, or waves returning to a quantum sea? Perhaps the truth isn't something we are meant to find. Perhaps the mystery itself is the point, the engine that drives us to create, to love, to explore, and to live, all before the great silence claims us. The truth doesn't disappear, it simply hides in plain sight, waiting at the end of every road.